Hey Sharks, it's time to have a little discussion on the Splinterlands DAO, as I feel like it's been a hot topic this week, and I feel like we need to talk about what the DAO is used for and what we can ask from it. Because there's loads of utility we can use with the DAO and its funds, and how we can help it with development and all types of things. And if you haven't read it already, there's like a list of points that the DAO can be used for, and I'm going to break it down in this video, and at the end I'm going to tell you what I feel we should use the DAO for to help the game in the long term and definitely in the short term right now, so we can get a bit of an uplift in the game. So let's get into it, Sharks, and like the video and subscribe for more Playtime content. So with the DAO, there's 5 ways we can use it, and I'm going to break all of them down. And the first one is providing liquidity. And in the white paper, they basically write it out as token holders may vote to use the foundation's tokens to provide liquidity for tokens paired with other popular tokens on third-party markets such as Uniswap, PancakeSwap or Hive Engine. This may also be used or allow the foundation to earn revenue in forms of liquidity providers rewards to sustain itself going forward after initial tokens are all distributed. That's a very structured way of saying it, but let me break it down a little bit easier for you guys. I feel this feature here will be great when the bull run happens, so we can enter LPs to get some rewards, and we can use them for like community rewards for like tournaments or stuff like that, ghost tournaments, or we can use the rewards for payments for other things, as we'll be getting in tokens, and tokens are obviously valued at a dollar amount, and we can obviously trade or swap or whatever, and it just allows us to essentially allow the DAO to make profit from its investments, which is great. But for me, I'm not a super big fan of LPs because there's a lot of risk that comes with them, and I don't necessarily feel the DAO would be great for this, because it would basically be putting money into something and waiting for the rewards to come in instead of like using it for instant rewards, so like making things and stuff like that. By all means, if the team finds like a good LP to enter in the bull run, by all means go for it, because rewards may be great, but at the same time we need to be super selective, because it's risk and reward, and we want reward more than risk, because right now we've done a lot of things in Splinterland and it's not paid off for us. So I feel every move going forward needs to be correct, and then we need to see results straight away. For me, this side of the DAO, this feature won't necessarily be used much with the DAO, as the other 4 are a lot more better. Let me get into them. The next feature we're going to talk about that the DAO can do is paying for services, and this is a big one here. And it reads as token holders may vote to use the foundation's tokens to pay for certain services that are expected to add value to the ecosystem. For example, exchange listings, marketing and promotional services. And I feel this is great. This feature here is perfect for the DAO, as we can ask them to do things, or like for example partnerships, and we've been talking so much about getting an exchange listing like Binance and stuff like that, and this is the way we can do it. We can make proposals up and be like, can the DAO please use some funds to try and get listings? It might fail, but at least we can keep attempting with that use of funds, and I feel like this is a great use for the DAO. Because it says about marketing and promotion, I feel like we should definitely save a part of the funds for when mobile is in a better state, because I feel Splinterlands hasn't reached its height yet until it has mobile perfect, where you can enter tournaments and rent cards on there and buy cards. I feel this game is perfect for mobile, and we're doing so much of it on PC, but if we compare Splinterlands with any other PC type of TCG, it can't really compete to an extent. So if we put it on mobile, it has such a great lane, and a lot more people will be able to play it, because everyone has a phone compared to a PC, and I feel we're very limited right now with that. I feel like this feature here with the DAO will be used so much more when the game's in a better state. And I thought maybe we should save a little bit, maybe allocate some funds to the side that won't ever be touched until that moment comes for marketing and promotion. Another way we can use the DAO is for funding third-party development, and they break it down in token holders may vote to use the foundation's tokens to fund third-party development of tools and or services that are expected to add value to Splinterland's ecosystem. For example, third-party marketing, automated tools, bridging integration to other blockchain platforms, etc. And for me, it's a good feature, and I don't think it'll be used as much. It'll be very selective, because we'll be asking to make something and it'll take a long duration for that to happen. But I definitely feel that this one will be used the most, but we won't be using it all the time, because like I said, we'll be asking to do something, they'll be going off, they'll go and make it, and then eventually they'll bring it back, and then we'll probably ask them to do another thing. and it'll probably be like an ongoing project and stuff like that, and I think it'd be great. This is a great feature to be able to like get updates for the game and to maybe push harder to get bots and battle helpers out, as all it comes down to is development for the game. So it's definitely going to be good because we want a lot more development going on at the moment, because we've got so much tokenomic stuff going on and like cards coming out. What we really do want is more ways to use our cards, so game modes, maybe more tournament filters so that we have more formats, things like that. The ideas for this feature are quite literally endless, and if you can think of any, comment below now. But I definitely feel like we should save some of the funds in the DAO for things like this, because we need development to go on, and if you want to push development for anything, this is the way we can do it. Here's the fourth feature, and this one I don't feel we're going to use much with the DAO because it's staking. And they break it down in: token holders may vote to use some foundations tokens to stake within the game. More details on staking in the staking and earning section. And earn a return and other rewards to help the foundation sustain going forward after the initial tokens are all distributed. And for me, we're not going to use the DAO as a staking mechanism, really, are we? And like I said, we don't want them to enter loads of LPs and stuff like that, and staking is kind of like LPs to an extent with an APR, but really we want the DAO to be using the funds for like development or getting returns, and staking is so risky, and it's definitely like high risk for like minimum reward in essence. So for me, this feature is not going to be used much. In reality, the DAO is already the biggest SPS holder, so we don't really necessarily need it to be like the biggest voucher holder, the biggest DC holder. We don't need it to be all that, because the whole reason it's the SPS holder is because it's giving us all the rewards for our ranked mode. I feel maybe we should like have this staking stuff for entering other games, so then it can maybe like ease in partnerships with each other, so then hopefully we can do more collabs in the future and kind of like use each other's audiences to boost our games. But in reality, the staking is pretty much the same as the liquidity side of the DAO feature. So for me, it's pretty much the same, but just tied a little bit differently. But like I said, it won't be used much. But let's get into the last feature, and I feel this is the feature that we've basically been proposed on now, and let me see how you don't feel about it after this. The final feature for the DAO is investing, and this is the one that's the feature that's currently being proposed on now. And it reads as: token holders may vote to use some foundations tokens to invest in other assets or tokens, whether related to Splinterlands or not, in order to earn returns and other rewards to help the foundation sustain itself going forward after initial tokens are distributed. And this is what I mean, that we're asking the DAO to invest into Splinterlands and the DC, but we're not asking for it to invest into it for a return, like a big return. We're asking for it to invest into it to make up the oversupply that we have. And for me, it's not necessarily investing, it's more buy into stake, like. But yeah, let me break down more how we can use the investing thing for the DAO. For me, we should be super selective on how we invest with the DAO when it comes to Splinterlands, because right now Splinterlands is kind of like volatile, and on top of that, we don't want to like shove the DAO with a bunch of Splinterlands assets because it's kind of counterproductive, as we feel like the portfolio should be quite diversified, because it's going to be used for making payments, and what we're going to be doing, making payments with DC all day long. But in reality, we could kind of use the DAO as like a hedge fund, and it can go out and do little bits of investing with the funds, and then hopefully it can gain returns. But in reality, we'd have to either vote every time it wants to invest, or we can kind of vote to delegate someone to have responsibility on the investing, which could be another side of it all. But I feel like this is a great way for maybe the DAO to make money over time. We could also use this for partnerships, as we can invest into other games to kind of build up like relationship with other people, and hopefully we can get more eyes on our game. But as a whole, we can use this to help the company make money, as Splinterlands needs to make revenue over time so they can keep up the development, as we got given a year timeline for how much the funds they have to keep going. So what we need to do is keep on increasing that, so we extend that timeline more and more, so it'd be more like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And this is a great feature to be able to do that, but we need to do it smartly, as like I said, the minute we spend these funds, we need results, otherwise we lost them. This is a great feature, but we have to be smart with the way how we use it, because funds do not come back. There's no receipt, there's no return policy, And with crypto, things can go down really quickly, so we have to be smart with every move we make when it comes to investing with the DAO. But these are the 5 features that the DAO has when it comes to how we can use it and how we can make proposals for them to do something. And comment below which feature you think is the best and how we should use the DAO. But now I'm going to tell you how I feel we should use the DAO going forward. So for me, I feel like we should use the DAO to make the game better and as a whole. So we need it to improve the game. We need it to allow the game to be in a better state. Like I said, game modes, other things like that. Not necessarily cards, because we've got abundance of them. But just making the game fun again, and that's the community will respond to that so much better. And I feel that would be a great use of the DAO. In my mind, it's all about development. So if they can invest to make revenue and to profit to then make development quicker and better, by all means do it now, because we want more development right now and less sitting around hoping, guessing and speculating. A big side of it is definitely saving the funds for marketing and promo, because the amount of people that probably seen Splinterlands already, we either want to re-show them it in a better state or present it to people that haven't seen it yet. And I feel definitely when mobile comes out, that's the greatest time to do it. Even though mobile's out, we want it in a better state, that's what I mean. And when it comes to like spending money within Splinterlands, when it comes to like cards or tokens and stuff, I feel the only way it could be beneficial is if it's community rewarded driven. So for example, if you're going to buy up a bunch of stuff here so then you can use it as prizes for ghost tournaments and stuff like that, that would be great. But definitely not for the DAO to just sit on and do nothing with. As a whole, we should definitely use the DAO's fund to diversify it. Either diversify it in investing or diversify it in ways of partnerships. But as a whole, we don't want it to be 4 or 5 things, and you definitely don't want it to be 3 or 2 of Splinterlands assets, because in reality, if it's only the majority Splinterlands, we're waiting for the Splinterlands wheel to go up. Whereas if we put it into other areas, we don't necessarily have to worry about if Splinterlands is in a better space for the DAO to be good. We can worry about other areas, and I feel it would be much more easier for the company to make money and keep the DAO afloat for a long time. But this is just the few ideas that I have. I kind of kept it broad because I can literally go to you, better game modes, get rid of the bots, more tournament filters, I don't know, make land quicker. You can think of so many things you can do for it, and it's all personal incentive. But for me, we just need it, use the DAO to make the game better. Not necessarily worry about tokenomics, because we have enough tokenomics in the game. We should definitely just use the DAO to make the game better and promote it. And use the funds wisely, because we never know. We might have to use the DAO for a rainy day to keep the company afloat in development. And there's no point wasting the funds away. As you can tell, the DAO is so powerful, and we need to be super selective on how we use it and its funds, because the minute we spend it, we're not going to get it back, and we need to see the results from every time we use the funds. With the current proposal now and how it's written out, I definitely don't want it to go through, because it's got so many back-end issues, and the whole DC to peg dream that everyone wants, it might not do that. And the minute we spend the money and we make the process and do the DAO does it, we can't go back, and then it's stuck with the DEC. And then what we're going to do, try and pay people out with DEC. It's kind of like a counterproductive thing to do. Comment below what you think the DAO should do with its funds, and because in reality we can make proposals for the DAO to do whatever we want really, and then we leave it to the community to vote on it, yes or no, as you can tell at the moment with the current proposal. And if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe for more playtime content, and remember, be a shark in this space, not a whale. And we're going to see you guys next time.